Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal. Yesterday, we got a brand new blue post detailing some of the class changes planned for the next Tuesday, Wednesday reset. This set of updates includes both the PvE changes that impacts raid and dungeon performance, as well as PvP updates that affect battlegrounds and arenas. A large portion of this update is looking to reduce the power of some of the most overrepresented classes, while looking to improve the performance of some of the underrated playstyles. I want to cover all of the major class updates coming soon in the patch 9.2.5. But right before we get into these updates, most of you guys watching these videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel as well as hit the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you want to catch regular patch 9.2.5 updates and changes, as well as potentially more future Dragonflight announcements. I first want to cover all of the major changes that will affect our class output in dungeons and raids. Starting with the spec of Guardian Druid, who is seeing both mangle and auto attack damage buffed by 10%, in order to buff their single target damage output, which generally is behind some of the other tanks when it comes to pure single target fights. The tank spec of Demon Hunter is seeing base damage and healing buffed slightly, with Fracture and Shear amped up significantly, with their auto attack damage also seeing an improvement. Similar to the Guardian Druid, the Vengeance Demon Hunter should see a slight improvement to their single target damage output. Then we have updates for the class of Warlock, with the spec of Affliction receiving a 5% damage amp. This buff is to your spells and abilities, but it doesn't include aspects like pet damage, which is a good portion of your overall output in single target raid fights. Though in AoE content like Mythic Plus dungeons and PvP, these damage buffs should be a little bit more noticeable. Besides Affliction, we also got nerfs to the spec of Destruction, starting with a 4-piece tier set bonus, which will no longer benefit from the Reign of Chaos talent, meaning that when you summon your Blasphemy Infernal with a 4-piece tier set, it won't generate you nearly as many resources, since that Infernal can no longer summon other Infernals by its side. This means overall that's less Infernals generated outside of your major cooldowns, which overall means less resources generated from Infernals immolating nearby enemy targets, specifically useful in Mythic Plus AoE content, but also less overall Infernal damage output. Less resources generated leads to less Rain of Fire, which means less damage from Rain of Fire in AoE content, but also less soul shards spent outside of your major cooldowns, which will impact the Warlock Mythic Plus cooldown reduction legendary. To counteract these AoE nerfs, their single target damage is improving slightly, with Chaos Bolt given a little bit more of a kick. Both Incinerate and Immolate are seeing a 20% damage amp in PvE and PvP content, which could potentially make the Necrolord Covenant a little bit stronger going forward. Finally, we're seeing Conflict Rate getting buffed slightly as well. As of right now, without any testing or sim numbers, it is hard to quantify exactly how impactful these changes may be. But the early reaction from the Warlock community is that these changes do look like a hard nerf for Warlocks when it comes to Mythic Plus AoE content. There's always a chance that Blizzard could revert a portion or all of these nerfs before the Tuesday, Wednesday reset. But until then, I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. How impacted do you think Warlocks are going to be with this change? Is this going to slightly diminish their AoE performance, or could it potentially cripple them going forward in the patch 9.2.5? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And besides the PvE changes, we also got PvP adjustments. Starting with the class of Hunter, where Blizzard is going after their strongest PvP legendary. Craven Stratagem Rune Carving Power will now reduce the cooldown of Feign Death by only 5 seconds instead of 15, which will impact the ability for Hunters to consistently shake off damage over time effects as well as other impactful debuffs. This change will also result in Hunters feeling a little bit less tanky, as this legendary excellently synergized with the PvP talent of Survival Tactics, which amplifies Hunter's defense for a very short moment. Playing as a damage over time class against a Hunter with this legendary can feel quite frustrating, but with this change, Blizzard is going to impact some of the survivability elements of Hunters within PvP. This change could potentially promote some of the damage-oriented legendaries for Hunters going forward when it comes to PvP content. Though with this change, this legendary is still likely to remain the go-to choice for hunters when it comes to arenas and battlegrounds. We also see Blizzard toning down mage survivability when it comes to PvP. The conduit of flow of time is getting reduced in PvP by 50%. This conduit reduces the cooldown of mage's blink ability. This conduit efficiently synergizes with the fire mage defensive playstyle around the talent of Blazing Soul, which makes mages a little bit tankier, providing them a shield every time they're able to blink away from their target. Blizzard is also going after the Netherwind armor PvP talent, reducing its crit reduction down to 10%. But with these recent PvP nerfs, let's also talk about buffs, starting with the Mistweaver Monk, who is seeing overall healing improvement, starting with Renewing Mist, which is getting improved by 15% within PvP situations, together with Enveloping Mist, which is also seeing a 10% healing buff as well. We also have the talent of Chrysalis getting buffed to further reduce the cooldown of Life Cocoon within PvP. These updates are overall looking to improve the sustained healing of Mistweaver Monks, while also amplifying their tools in order to address burst damage, especially when it comes to trying to save your teammates from a critical situation. Retribution Paladins are seeing a nerf to some of the aspects of their burst, starting with the Templar's Vindication Conduit, where the damage of the free Templar's Verdict is being nerfed by 50% within PvP. Likely as a result of the Templar's Vindication Conduit, which with a higher rank allows it to proc more consistently. We're also seeing a nerf to the damage output of the Paladin's Shield of Vengeance ability, with the damage being nerfed by 40% within PvP. The defensive value of Shield of Vengeance still remains the same, just the counter-attack value of Shield of Vengeance popping once the shield is expanded is seeing a reduction within PvP. The spec of Holy Priest is seeing even more PvP nerfs, starting with the mana regen, which is getting reduced by 5%. Both the Holy Word Chastise and the Censure Stun upgrade are now only a 3-second duration within PvP content. We also see an Ray of Hope PvP nerf, with its cooldown increased up to 90 seconds, which will make Holy Priest less reactive to burst damage. So far in the patch 9.2 and 9.2.5, Holy Priest has been one of the dominant forces within PvP, and these updates could potentially give other healers a little bit more breathing room and spotlight when it comes to the performance in arenas and battlegrounds. Besides Holy Priest changes, we're also seeing buffs to the spec of Shadow, which is seeing its Shadow Word Pain ability getting amped in PvP by 15%, and Vampiric Touch is getting 10% stronger, which will hopefully have an overall impact to sustain and spread pressure of the Shadow Priest within PvP. When it comes to rogues, we're seeing the Outlaw Rogue defense potential getting nerfed. The PvP talent of Float Like a Butterfly is seeing its cooldown reduction for evasion and feint getting cut in half, which will hopefully reduce some of the randomness and extreme defensive value of Outlaw Rogues within PvP. We're seeing Blizzard improving Warlocks' tankiness for PvP content since the removal of Demon Armor in the patch 9.2.5, starting with the talent of Dark Pact, which is going to provide a bigger shield value within PvP. We also got a buff to the PvP talent of Essence Drain, which will now cause the target to deal 9% damage to the Warlock per stack, but the ARC cap and Essence Drain to only stack up to 4 times maximum. With this new change, Essence Drain can now possibly reduce the target's damage to the Warlock by 36%. Especially useful for Warlocks running the Night Fake Covenant, who can drain from multiple targets using the Soul Rod ability. This combination is also extremely good for the spec of Affliction Warlock, who already build into a heavy life drain playstyle. We're also seeing a buff to the Gateway Mastery talent, which will allow the Warlock and their party to use the Gateway more often. We're also seeing even more buffs to the Affliction Warlock survivability, with the Soul Leech passive providing the bigger shield from the Affliction Warlock periodic damage over time spells. Finally, we have updates for the class of Warrior, with the Necrolord banner mastery buff being reduced by 33% within PvP situations. We're also seeing damage nerfs for Fury Warriors, specifically those running the talent of Reckless Abandon. When using the talent of Reckless Abandon, your Recklessness transforms both Bloodthirst and Rage Blow into their empowered versions. Rage Blow becomes Crushing Blow, which will now charge to the target, improving on the Fury Warrior mobility, and also does significantly more damage. This damage and playstyle is further amplified by the Fury Warrior tier set. This change only nerfs the Crushing Blow version of the Rage and Blow ability, which further nerfs burst damage output of Fury Warrior within PvP content. And that's going to be all of the major class updates for PvE and PvP content coming with the next reset for the patch 9.2.5. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video and hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think about all of these upcoming updates. What are your thoughts on all of the class changes? What do you think about some of the class buffs and nerfs announced? And what other class updates should be added to this list? Are there certain playstyles that are currently struggling in the patch 9.2.5 that deserve to see an improvement going forward for either PvE or PvP content? Let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single live stream and video, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video or discuss with the other members of the community what you think about the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.